And I did write, should I tell them? And she sent me this long email saying that I was fired and I was insubordinate and I didn't do my job and I was always late. And I said, okay, well, if that helps you sleep at night. Fly like the wind.
Hi, this is Christina Eve, and welcome to ShineStrong, LiveLong. If it's your first time here, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, listener to the podcast, or if you just follow me on social media, thank you so much. It is time for IntentionaliTEA, where we are intentional about making time to actively invest into becoming the people that God designed for us to be. And I'm really excited to have a special guest with me today. As you can see, it's the setup for two. Introducing Kay. Hey, Kay. This is my friend Kay. Kay, say hey.
Hey.
Kay is a Bible-believing saint, Holy Ghost-filled friend of mine. But today we're just gonna have tea, and I asked Kay what type of tea does she drink, and y'all know what type of tea I drink. Kay, what type of tea do you like? Tell them.
Fruity tea, and it has to be cold. I don't like warm tea unless I'm not feeling well.
Yes, so, I had to experiment because I like my hot teas. So I went ahead and found this, and I worked hard to try and make some tea, and we're gonna try it in real time because I will say this in front of Kay, that she is a picky eater. And so if she doesn't like it, I want you to be honest because I have a backup just in case. All right.
Welcome to ShineStrong, LiveLong, inspiring us to be intentional about becoming who God has designed for us to be.
Cute pictures.
Oh, they are cute.
Oh, thanks. All right, so we're gonna try this tea. We got our Bible, and I am gonna just ask Kay some questions. Okay. First of all, how you feeling today?
I feel good. Woke up early this morning, made sure I was ready. I'm still kind of tired because I took some allergy medicine because the pollen up there is crazy. But other than that, I'm good. Glad to be alive.
Good. Well, okay, so you are here as a guest for IntentionaliTEA. I want to see you try this tea so I know if I need to get it back up. So. Is it bad? You don't like it? It's sweet.
It's a unique flavor.
It's strawberry raspberry. You really don't like it? I thought it was banging, guys. I was like, she's gonna love this. Okay, try it one more time. Oh, okay, she's lying. All right, I'll be right back.
Yummy.
You're gonna drink some tea today.
I'll keep the tea. It just got weird on me a little bit. I gotta get used to it. It's okay.
Okay.
It's not.
This is also tea. So technically, if you decide to drink the strawberry melon brisk, then that's also tea. Well, you guys, we know this, that Christina makes hot tea, not cold tea, apparently. But let me know if you need some water, because I'm gonna put some water up here too. This is called hospitality.
Oh my.
I also have these little Pop-Tarts, the legendary Pop-Tarts. So they're not really Pop-Tarts, so that's like not technically correct, but they look like Pop-Tarts and they're like protein pastries. So you want to try? Whichever one.
You have me try a lot on camera.
Yeah.
That I'm a picky.
So you want the strawberry? So she has what flavor is that?
I have the brown sugar cinnamon. I'm not a picky eater. I don't think I am. I'm not picky. Watch, I'm going like this. I'm going like it.
If you don't like it, that doesn't mean you're not picky. That is I can warm it up too. Nathan said they taste good in the microwave. These are protein pastries. So these are supposed to have 20 grams of protein, 4 net carbs. So they're they're like, I'm not gonna say healthy, but they kind of are because they have, oh my gosh, 1 gram of sugar. Why is it so sweet then? My mom, she does this. She's like, Christina, you gotta find out what they use for their sugar. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Great. Okay, so at least I fed her something, guys. I'm not bringing her on the show and she can't have anything. So, all right, we're just gonna talk because Kay, she is my friend from Maryland. She actually married one of BJ and I's friends from college. And so I met her through him and I went to her wedding, which was dope. They lived in Maryland and then very recently they moved down here. How was that transition?
That transition, I ain't like it.
Oh.
Excuse my English.
Oh.
I didn't like it. Back in Maryland, I had a routine. Woke up, went to work at 8 a.m. I got off at 5, sometimes 6, because I worked in childcare.
Mm-hmm.
So from 8 to 6, then I came home, I worked out, I went to church. Well, we had church online because of COVID and all the other stuff that happened. So I went to church Wednesday and Friday. There was prayer on Thursdays. And then on Sunday, we went to church, and then that routine would just start again. During that routine, I lost 30 pounds. And I thought I was just doing it. I was going to church. I felt like I was doing everything that I was supposed to do as a wife, making sure my house stayed clean. I cook for my husband. I'm doing excellent on the job. I had got a raise. All the parents love me. I love where I work. And then one night, Tim was like, I think it's time for us to move. I think God is telling us to move. I said, move? We're doing great. Well, at least I thought I was, because I had a routine. Everything was flowing. And I was like, okay, well, if this is really from God, we're going to pray about it. So one night we prayed about it. And it was time for us to go. It was a very hard transition for me because I had a routine. I'm not good with change. So the transition was very tough. I did shed a few tears leaving home. But this transition has definitely been great.
So great after. So, okay, tell me how long. So you sound like you had a really intense routine and a lot of it had a lot to do with like church and it was good for your wellness because you had like a system and stuff and you were around the same people. So were you living there your whole life before you moved? Is this your first time moving like out of state?
Yes.
How long have you been married and were you expecting that when you got married?
I was married for 4 years. Before we moved. I was not, we talked about moving, but because our families were there and we lived so close, we never really moved because Tim's family lived a minute down the street and then my family lived maybe 15 minutes away from.
When you say a minute, you mean like literally 1 minute?
1 minute. Like we could walk across the street and like see each other. That's how close we were.
See, when you say a minute, us in the South, we think, a minute, that's like 20, 30 minutes, or something further than that. Yeah, I lived a hot minute away. That is what I thought. So you mean literally a minute.
1 minute.
So y'all were close. You were married for 4 years. And then all of a sudden he comes to you with this and that uproots a lot. So what changed? Why is it different now?
So I was very close to my family. Every time they called, I was there. We were there for each other. And sometimes it was a little too close because I was sacrificing time. Sometimes I would sacrifice time with my husband to be there for my family and their needs. And it did cause like some friction between our marriage. And also Tim wanted to move just so that we could focus on our marriage. Because like I said, I thought we were doing great. I had a routine. I lost 30 pounds. I thought I was doing the thing, but I wasn't. There were some things going on in our marriage that there was slightly, I wouldn't say tearing us apart, but causing friction.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounds like y'all are both, well, I know this, but they are very, you prayed about it. You attended your church faithfully. Y'all both love the Lord. And I was at the wedding, but sometimes it's just, it takes us getting out of our comfort zones in order for God to like do the work that he needs to do. Because believe it or not, I do believe that sometimes we're hindered by our surroundings and our environment about how like far we can grow, how much potential like God can really like work it out of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So girl, so you here now near me, guys. She's like 4 minutes up the street. It's wonderful. We have some other friends. Okay. So she's here now. I do see her often, weekly. She attends the same church that BJ and I attend, her and Tim. So it's wonderful. She also sings, guys, with her husband and my husband. So it's wonderful. For me, of course. But of course, getting her through that transition. So when did you actually get to that point where you're like, this, I understand God. Like, cause that song, I understand it better by and by.
Yes, I know that.
Okay, good. Yeah. How did you get to that point?
So when we moved here, I did have a job. However, that job did not work out because it was an hour away, and plus traffic. I'll be running late. I was falling asleep behind the wheel, so I had to, unfortunately, part ways with that job. So I picked up another job that next week. And that job did not turn out to be the job God wanted me to be. I went and I got another job that next week.
How does she
at
do
another
this?
daycare.
Okay.
It was a Christian daycare. And it wasn't what I thought it would be. I thought I'd be, because I always wanted to teach kids about the Bible and the Lord and how God wants us to treat people. But the people that were working there did not represent Christ at all. They were very mean. I tried to show Christ as much, but I don't think I was, because of all the stress and stuff of moving and trying to just work and not really praying on where God wants me to be at. So I had a smart nose. Which wasn't good. I wasn't I felt like my communication skills are not that great. It's either I'm this way or I'm that way. There's no middle. There's no middle with me. So my mouth was a little disrespectful.
A little quick.
But the only reason why was because when I came there and I showed my certifications, the classes that I took, I worked very hard to be at where I was. Then during that teaching time, if that makes sense, she was like, oh, you know what you're doing. Go ahead and just do whatever. So I did whatever. I made my lesson plans. I made sure the kids were learning, but it wasn't what she wanted me to do.
So it was like...
I wasn't a yes man.
So it was like saying that you have full range, but then also micromanaging and not making it some... see, that's hard to work in. So, but what happened next? So you had that job. The fact that she can get so many jobs so quickly in this environment is just crazy to me. It is a testament of, I don't know, because our childcare system is in need. So we plan when we have kids to drop them off at Kay's house. She doesn't agree, but it's okay.
I mean, I worked hard for them certifications. I'm going to use them somehow.
We'll pay you.
And then I was done with that job.
She was done. That's how it ended right there.
Just to make a long story short. And then after that job, my husband told me, okay, you got to stop getting jobs, getting them, then quitting them. So I need you to take some time off. I need you to pray. I need you to seek God for where he wants you to be, because it's not working. Wherever you at, it's not working. So I sat and I prayed. I went through a lot of depression. I didn't know it was depression at the time, where I was alone a lot. However, I came across this job and I thought it was for me. So I prayed and said, God, this job is for me, give it to me. And I did ended up getting a job. I did enjoy working there, but as the process went further and further, it wasn't what I thought it was. And I was like, God, did you really want me to be here? Because this is getting a little tough. And I told my husband, I saw a video and this girl said, if God told you to quit your job, would you do it? And then I had asked my husband that. I said, if God told you to quit your job, would you do it? And I was like, Lord, if you tell me to quit my job, I leave. I leave tomorrow. But that prayer did not come to fruition, because that's not what I was supposed to do at the time. So the job went on for months and months. And it was getting worse. Things were just getting worse. And then I heard a still small voice to say, it's time to go. It's like, it's time to go. I was like, no, I can't go. I got bills. I got a car note. I got to help my husband. I'm trying to be a good helpmate. But the longer I held on, the harder things got, to where a point I was getting in disagreements with the directors. I wasn't doing my job properly. And my mom had breast cancer. So that added on a lot of stress to me, because I wasn't there to help like I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, at least what I felt like I was supposed to be doing as her daughter. I didn't quit. I just stayed because I didn't want to go, even though I heard every day, it's time for you to go.
Oh my gosh. Wait, let me stop you right here, because this sounds like a disobedient child. Hearing is that you came here, you were reluctant, but you were like, I'm going to do this. And then you were with your husband and you were finding a job, and then the job didn't work out. You see, she's drinking the tea, right? It's not that bad. I put half a cup of sugar in here. That's it, though. Do you want it more sweet? Well, okay.
No, I don't want it more sweet. It's great. I really don't drink tea.
So she doesn't even know. She didn't have a point of reference. That's why. So really the tea is bomb diggity. Let me get my props. Okay. But I followed the instructions. Okay. Anyway, so it sounds like you came here. You were trying to make the best of a situation that was just hard, but you were trying to push through it. And it was just things were moving contrary to you, and it was just making it harder. And then you got this job because you prayed for it. And then when you got it, it was getting hard. So you was like, Lord, if I could quit, please just tell me I could quit. And then God was like, it's time for you to go. And then she was like, nah. Not me, God, because how I'm going to pay my bills, how I'm going to... But also, it probably is a personal thing, too. You probably just didn't want... probably didn't want to go back to your husband and tell him, hey, I quit another job, right? That's another thing. Because, that's hard coming from a routine, something that you've been used to for so long. You were consistent to come here and then find so much... You seem more inconsistent, and that's not the type of person you are.
No.
And so, yeah. So you had all these factors making you be disobedient when God was like, it's time for you to go. But you eventually left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened after that?
I didn't have a job for 6 months.
She didn't have a job for 6 months.
I didn't have a job for 6 months. My husband, who I love dearly, he took care of everything. He took care of my car. He took care of anything I needed, even if I needed clothes or something. He made sure I had it. But I felt like as a wife, I'm supposed to be the helpmate.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be out here making sure that I'm doing my part as a wife. And my husband would just so kindly remind me that I am doing my part. Even if it's not financially, I was still doing my part as a wife, making sure my husband was taking care of the house. Not saying that, that's all a wife is supposed to do. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to be putting nothing out there like, you're supposed to cook, you're supposed to clean, you're supposed to...
No, you're good. I was just making sure your mic was still on. It's a blue. Yeah, we're good. Okay. No, I don't think so. I think, okay, we both had this conversation before we actually brought this to you. And the main thing is we are women who are, I'm more openly ambitious. Kay is very silently ambitious. She really is crazy. Like, Kay was so quiet when I first met her. The more I talked to her, I'm like, you want to do what? You want to do this? You want to do that? Not even just want to do. She like does it and don't tell nobody. And then say, hey, Christina, when you have a chance, can I call you and just run something by you? I'm like, what? You did what? You had this already? You know, so she's quietly ambitious. And it's hard for us when we're not seeing the results that we can, or if we see our husbands struggle like with things and we know that we want to help. Was it hard for you during that time when you like were at home for 6 months to get a job?
Yes, because nobody was really hiring at the time. Everybody had the people that they needed. It was very hard for me, but during that season, which I call isolation, a lot of ideas and I would say a lot of ideas and thoughts had came to mind that I decided to, well, God gave me the ideas and the thoughts. So I wrote it down on paper. I was like on my computer, like every day. I did write a journal.
I love this. Okay, you wrote a journal. I was trying to see if she was going to tell y'all or not. So this is wonderful. So she wrote a journal, but and I read it, guys, and it is very good. Like, that's one of those things where I'm like, she comes to me with these things that she's done, and I'm like, who are you, lady? How can you sit in my presence for like so long and not mention it? And so, anyways, I will say, so it's a great journal, but let's go back to this. You said you were in a season of isolation.
Yes.
And everybody, if you are on the other side of this screen and you've experienced a season of isolation, then you probably know that out of that season, something was birthed. Do you think that it would have been hard for you to have that season of isolation if you were back home?
Can I use this?
Yeah, girl. I left it there for you. Just in
Okay.
case.
To be honest, no, because my mom had breast cancer and I was getting called, even though I'm close, but I'm not close. I was getting calls from my family members about her updates and how well she was doing, and how much help she needed because I think my little sister is 8 now. At the time she was 7.
Okay.
I have a 7-year-old little sister, which my parents needed help raising at the time because my mom was going to chemotherapy and all this other stuff. So it was very hard for me to I stayed focused, but because I wasn't so close, but I wasn't too far, I was not able to I let my family know that I'm not able to do that travel. So yes, it was very hard for me if I answered your question.
Yes. So I'm hearing that because you were far enough away, God knew that was coming down the pipeline. And if Kay wasn't far enough away, then I don't think that you would have had the isolation that you needed in order to write the journal that God placed in your heart to do, like to write. But then also, I do want to bring up the fact that families, we love our families, you know? And if we don't, we want to love them. We do, but I'm just saying for everybody else, we want to love them, even if they're, difficult. But we talked about in our retreat, and Kay, she was at one of the retreats that we did.
I was at all of them. I enjoyed every part of that retreat. Christina did a really good job.
Well, thank you. At the retreat, I didn't pay her to say that. But at the retreat, we talked about boundaries. And I talked a little bit about it on like the social media channels. So if you follow me on social media, you'll see some of that. But how important are boundaries in a situation where you do have, Kay has a big family, like sibling wise, big family. And they're really involved in church, and I met them, and her brothers are hilarious. So just saying. But how important are boundaries in a situation where like you have something on your heart, but you also are pulled in different directions?
Coming to your retreat, I did not expect it. It was great.
She came and she didn't know she was going. I was going to talk about the things I was going to talk about.
I learned so much, and I felt a little bit embarrassed because at my age, I'm learning boundaries, which I was not taught growing up.
At our age, because I was learning like all the things in the retreat, I like recently learned it, and I said, "Oh my gosh, if we like as women, Christian women, understand that like God gives us the ability to establish boundaries, and it's okay because a lot of the times." We're women, we're helpmates for our husband, but we also probably grew up in a similar situation where we both had to like serve and be everything for the people around us. And I was a people pleaser, and I felt like people weren't going to like me unless I was doing a bunch of stuff for them. And I was like, girl, you ain't getting anything done. Like you're not spending quality time with like the people that you really feel like you're assigned to because you're like not putting boundaries in place. And so, okay, I'm gonna let you say more about that. So the boundaries in your family and all the things, how did that work out?
It worked out really, really good. I had to set a boundary to where I could not travel, and my car was messed up. I was having car problems, and that's what made me feel so bad about me not having a job, because my car, well, we weren't expecting my car to break down, but it did.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I was like, I cannot travel back and forth. My car is messed up. However, you can call me whenever you need me. I am here. And I will try my best to be available, but I cannot make any promises.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, just in case on the other side of the camera, you think it is insensitive that Kay's mom was going through chemo and going through what she was going through with cancer, and Kay was not physically there for her mother. No, she does have a lot of other siblings that are really close by. So the mom, her mom was taken care of. It's just that Kay sometimes, I'm not going to talk about.
Go ahead and say it.
She overextends her help.
Yes, I do.
And she doesn't know how to not do anything for everybody. So for her, it would have caused an extra strain on her physically and potentially her marriage if she was physically there, overextending. Because it wouldn't just be being there for her mom. She would be there for everybody, which isn't a bad thing if we know how to also balance us and our physical health and like not being stressed out and, right? Did I say that okay?
Yes. You explained that perfectly.
Yeah. And I'm similar, like in a way where I don't live super, super close to my family, because I would say yes to everything during that time when I was there. And I would be like really stressed because I didn't know how to, I had that thing where people not overbook, but like their task list is like so much longer than what they realistically can do in a day. Mm-hmm. And so I would try to do so much. And I'm like, I'm a wife. I want to be a mother, Kay, same wife, want to be a mother. So like we have to know how to be those people for our families. And I feel like God is definitely preparing us for that. Because I feel a lot better after learning the boundaries. And I'm glad that I was able to share that part of the retreat with y'all. Oh, okay. Eventually, you found a job. Okay. So we went there. We talked all about like that whole process of you being off for like 6 months, but eventually you did find a job. So tell us about that now.
Okay. So I found a job. I absolutely love my job now. I am making 6 times more than I did when I worked in daycare. and I'm able to make my own hours. I get to pick the people I want to work with. It's great. It's great to just have control of your work schedule and when you work and how long you want to work and when you want to work. It's the best feeling ever to just be in control.
It really is, guys. Come on now. And it came from that season where she came out of that season of isolation after you did what God told you to do.
Yes.
And then now she has this dream job.
But I love my job now. And I'm able to work on the things that God has placed on my heart, which I am now starting to plan properly because I was not taught at a younger age to plan properly. That's why the virtual retreat really did help because I have stickies on my wall of what I'm supposed to get done. And now that I've upgraded to Apple, an iPhone, I'm just able to tell Siri, hey, schedule me for this day and this time. And I feel like I get a lot more done. And I am in therapy. Go to therapy. Get therapy. Therapy helps a lot. Your retreat helped it as well.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that happen in my life that I didn't understand what was happening, and it affected my marriage. It affected the way I did things. So when I got therapy, it helped me a lot, and I feel like I'm doing a lot better now at this big age I am.
You are not even that old.
I'm not that old. But I felt like there was a lot of things I should have learned in my younger years.
Yeah.
But my therapist said that it's okay because things change as you get older. Like, even though now you may set these boundaries, but you may have new boundaries as you get older. So go to therapy.
Yes. So that's great because that's part of the retreat. I was like, look, this is not therapy. I am a life coach. But some of the things that we talk about might spark your desire to like look into therapy, right? So I'm so glad to hear that. We're here for a good story and a good testimony, let me tell you. So I want to note that I know Kay was talking a whole lot, but she also didn't eat any more of that Pop-Tart thingy, that pop pastry. So she could have been just pretending like she liked that for y'all. I
smack when I eat. I don't want to be smacking all in the mic.
I could have been smacking too, to be honest, because I crushed. I'm over here like, yeah, I had some breakfast. I was waiting for Kay to come. I was like, I'm going to eat this, drink this whatever, this iced tea. Who does this?
Y'all don't want to hear me smack. I'd just rather just eat it off camera than on camera because you know I smack when we be going to church in the car.
She do
be smacking.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's cool. So she does like it. If she says she like it, she like it. But you know,
the cheese is turning out to be pretty good. See, what happens when I try new things? Well, it's actually not new because I like fruity tea. It's just It's just tea. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope you take this part out.
No, this is your actual personality. I'm going to end it with this scripture. So I'm going to let you read this. We're going to be on Proverbs. I'm glad you got your glasses on. Proverbs 3:3-6.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Beautiful. I like to hear you read. I know that's kind of creepy to say. Remember that today is a brand new day, a day where you and I have been given opportunities to choose better, love stronger, and shine brighter than the day before. Thanks for joining us for Intentionality. Do you want to say it?
Shine strong and live long. Amen. Amen. I felt like that was loud.
That was very loud. Oh my God. That was good though. Good job, girl.